Default.
Yeah,
We've
100% default.
Is like a 40-year-old virgin, like celebrating.
Bro, this car's undrivable.
He comes out in his second run and creams everybody.
Yeah. Nico just didn't know what to do because he's never been on the podium
He
before.
forgot his helmet.
All right, welcome back to the Idiots of F1. Do not adjust your Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It is I, Digby, not Ollie this week.
Adjust.
Bringing you all the fun, frantic news and upsets of the F1. Now, if you're new here, this is the Idiots of F1. As we describe it, it is Formula One if it was explained by your mates at the pub after 7 pints and one very questionable understanding of F1. It's all opinion, it's all passion, and very little education. But yeah, we will do our best to keep it simple, stupid. So strap in and forget about telemetric breakdown and wind tunnel data and just enjoy the ride. And as usual, I have the crew here. On my left, we have Taylor Scheuer. How are you, Taylor?
Good, man. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, anytime, mate. And on my right, newly cast on his elbow, the man whose opinion you didn't ask for, but you were going to get, Evan Locke. Beer in one hand, cast in the other. How are you, mate? What happened to you?
Just playing football. I was trying to think about something funny, and there's nothing. It's funny that a 40-year-old man is still playing competitive physical sports.
Competitive.
I think it's funny that a soccer player fell over and genuinely injured themselves.
Dislocated shoulder.
Lovely. Dislocated.
I thought you'd appreciate, as a rugby player, you'd know, you must have done it before.
No, never. So we have come off what could have possibly been noted as the most enjoyable, eventful, exciting race of the weekend. We're seeing a smattering of the McLaren collapse. We are seeing some improvements from Hamilton. We're seeing a huge issue with George Russell on and off the track. And we're seeing the likes of Lance Stroll come up the grid, but more so, Nico Hulkenberg getting a fucking podium. So it's all a round of applause, everyone. Including you, Ev. A round of applause, please, for Nico Hulkenberg. Ladies and gentlemen, that was his first podium since his debut. I'm not going to tell you exactly how many races it was because that will be a question later in the quiz. So stay tuned for that one. But I can tell you it has been a long fucking time. In fact, it's been about 15 years he's had to wait for a podium. Guys, what did you think about Nico making it? Were you excited? Were you crying?
I had mixed feelings because on one hand, I was like so happy for him. On another, I wanted Lewis to at least get back on the podium.
Oh, wow, really? I was going to say to Ev, as a Hamilton fan, how did it feel having Hulkenberg upstage him in a Sauber?
Yeah, well, they use the same engines. Sauber,
arguably, yeah.
With,
same
Ferrari
brand.
engines. Yeah. There was something that had come out where the Ferrari has a much higher top speed.
Yes.
That just might be because of rear wing. It's more about downforce than engine power per se. But you can't help but raise an eyebrow when like Williams has had a couple of engine failures this year. Mercedes make those engines, and so you get a bit suspicious that like McLaren have Mercedes engines and they're winning, and you're like, if this was closer, do you think Toto Wolff has like a big red button that just makes their engine explode? Like,
it's like they have a fail-safe
not
engine.
so fast.
As soon as it hits 250 kilometers, it just collapses.
I think there was a time, I think with like 10 or 15 laps to go, and Hamilton was hunting him down, and they were like, well, he's clearly going to get him because the Ferrari is much faster. And then I think rain came and they all pitted again.
Yeah,
and then
we'll talk about it.
Lewis was nowhere. So
well, what happened?
So
I think it was Martin said even without DRS, the Ferrari should still be about 15 kilometers an hour faster in top speed. Something outrageous like that.
I will say that like celebrating your first ever podium after a humiliating amount of time is like a 40-year-old virgin, like celebrating its like first get. Like you don't have to celebrate. Like he's like, guys, no. Don't worry, but you don't have to make a big deal out of this.
It's like a bag of sand.
It's embarrassing. Yeah.
I think
it's kind of embarrassing.
We'll save it for the recap. We'll talk about it. It won't take long for us to get there. So let's dive straight into our review. Cue music. Me.
Hold for applause. You're not meant to read that part.
This is where we go through the grid from first place to 10th place, and then any honourable mentions we think are worth talking about it. So we're going to start with the top of the podium. By default.
Yeah,
We've
100%
got
default.
Lando Norris. And I know Ollie's listening to this right now going, you fuck. He deserved it. Secured a thrilling home victory. This win also led to his emotional post-race celebrations being cut short after he was involved in a fence accident. Do you want to describe what on earth that was?
Yeah, so basically, they were ushering him. I guess he was going up to the fence to the
wave.
spectators. Yeah. And there was a bloke who was sort of hanging on the fence. And he fell back. Was he a photographer? I didn't see a camera. He literally fell back and clocked Norris on the nose. And obviously it wasn't as bad as the other effort that he had. No.
There's a lot of things overshadowing his victory. So to save us doubling up, we can't really talk about this win from Norris without also mentioning Oscar. So if you missed the race, Piastri all weekend was the dominating McLaren, although he did miss out on pole. And throughout the whole race, leading convincingly, even including with virtual safety cars and a safety car itself. So he really initially appeared to have this whole thing under control. However, during the safety car, he did some arguably unsafe braking as the safety car pulled away and was penalized for erratic driving and was slapped with a 10-second time penalty, which he later served in the pits, and this ultimately cost him the victory. Piastri expressed frustration as only he could, so with minimal emotion, biting his tongue after the penalty, which he felt was very harsh. McLaren boss Andrea Stella also deemed the penalty very harsh, and Piastri stated that the team orders wouldn't have been fair to Norris. So what actually happened towards the end of the race is that McLaren appealed this penalty. Oscar then asked, well, if you're so against the penalty, perhaps you should let me swap places back with Norris then. Because they were so fucking far ahead. The only reason Norris basically won is because he served the penalty.
At one point, both of them were so far ahead that I think it was almost a minute ahead of third.
Yeah.
It was something crazy. Where it's just like, oh my God, like just because of obviously carnage with the weather and whatnot.
Yeah, it seems less about them being dominant and more about them when it rains, the place you want to be is in first place or saving that
as opposed to when it's
dry.
miles
away.
Yeah.
Not only because of the visibility, but because you presumably have first crack at strategy.
Yeah.
So all those guys behind, everybody was just like, I don't know, trying to play Hungry Hungry Hippos and just like mashing the strategy button.
Just fumbling.
And and so to that end, to see Nico go from 19th to 3rd on such a fast track. Anyway, we'll get to him, but
but one thing about it being Silverstone too, it's such a large track, kind of like that Russian race from a few years back. You can have one corner of the track completely soaking wet and the other 90% of it bone dry, which means you still have to run on your inters. And what we saw is a lot of drivers feeling that the track was now dry enough, changing to slicks, then getting hit in one section. Piastri actually almost lost it in the same section George did. But why I'm combining these two is that Norris did drive really well. They both drove fantastically, but Norris got the win. And I thought it was weird. Like, good on Norris. He deserved it. Piastri made a silly error. He gets punished.
Yep.
So what I was going to say is, what was odd is that Norris treated the win, big win, first time he's ever won at home, as if he had earned it without any kind of anomaly.
Oh, right.
That's how
and Piastri's penalty was not a straightforward penalty. McLaren argued the penalty. There was plenty of us, including myself, who was like, maybe Max was doing his Max thing where he's riding up his ass too much. Yeah. Maybe it was because it was wet and it was harder to see. Therefore, they're gonna be less lenient on a penalty like that, and that gifted Norris a fucking pit stop.
Well, this is the thing, right? So looking back, and they showed the difference because obviously the direct comparison was Canada with George, because George essentially did the same thing, except it wasn't raining. But they're looking
much closer.
They're looking at how much pressure was forced when it came to the braking. And so in comparison, George had, I think, 30 PSI when he went from, I think, 180k down to 90
something or something.
Yeah. And in comparison, Piastri was like at 59 PSI, but he went from like 230 down to 88. It was something more drastic.
So I saw that. They talked about that at the end of the race, and Ollie brought that up as well. And my argument was never to do with the numbers. You could show me it was 400 to 10. I was like, that's great. The numbers mean nothing, essentially, because if it wasn't a dangerous move, then there's no penalty being placed. And when you watch Piastri brake, I know it was the front-on angle, but I actually thought George's braking looked more intentional and looked more dangerous.
Vindictive.
Initially. And vindictive. Whereas Oscar's just felt like, I'm slowing down, no one's paying attention, and it's hard to see because there's so much wash and spray. He shouldn't be doing that because there is such poor visibility behind him. You're more inclined to make a mistake.
The context is that Max has a reputation of being vindictive.
Yeah.
And he was doing what you said he was doing before this. Oscar was swerving, warming his tyres, and Max was just about getting cleaned up the whole fucking time.
Yeah. So before this, when they started under the safety car, or they did like a lap on the safety
virtual
car.
Safety car.
Right at the beginning. Right at the beginning. Before the start, they did a lap in the safety car. And Martin Brundle was like, "This is insane. It's like
it was a few laps,
sunny. Yeah. Like it's fine. Like we don't need. It was so overly cautious, and that's okay. It's okay to be cautious for safety, but clearly they were setting a tone. This selection of
stewards.
Yeah, thank you. Their tone was overly cautious because of the mixed conditions, and so. It didn't look like... All it looked like was that Oscar braked at the same time that Max sped up.
Yeah.
So they were doing the opposite thing. It wasn't that he was, like, brake checking Max.
No, it's just that the
they
timing
did it.
of it.
Yeah, it was just the timing was wrong. But because of that we understand that the stewards were being overly protective, I'm not surprised that they gave him...
No.
That.
Do you think just for pure competition, they made it 10 seconds because it was going to create such drama?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Because I'd argue that the drama wasn't really going to come... Because it wasn't really dramatic between Norris and Piastri. It was pretty... I mean... But that's probably as dramatic as you're going to get from Oscar, and he did was, I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to get in trouble. Now, he did ask for his place back, but as we heard from him later, he didn't really think it was going to happen, but he thought he'd ask the question. And I argued this with Ollie, because Ollie was saying, if Lando had done that, you would have been, bitching at Lando. Maybe, but honestly, the only reason I didn't bitch about Piastri doing it was simply because McLaren was so clearly against the penalty. And it was almost like calling their bluff. If you're so against this penalty team, just give me the place back. It's not going to affect anyone else in the race. If you don't think I deserve that penalty, then you think I deserve to have my place back.
Which means my win. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Not common sense.
But it's Silverstone. They ain't going to take that win away from Norris either.
What you would imagine is if you get a 10-second penalty, so it's either 5 or 10, and beyond that you start to get disqualification, you start to get grid places for the next race. They've got a few more arrows in their quiver after that. But for it to be 10, if I were a steward and I'd be, no, that's not acceptable. The PSI, his pressure was higher than it was for George. In these conditions, give him 10. And then upon review, if and when McLaren argue, hey, this is too much, we can go back to 5 seconds and both sides can be happy.
Yeah, there's a compromise level.
Yeah, and so for whatever reason, it wasn't raised during the race because after it's been given, after you've served that 10 seconds, it can't be undone. Yeah. So it's all a bit, I don't know why they didn't go sooner to try and argue, well, let's do a deal and we'll agree on 5 or something because 10's high.
Zach was the go-to for Sky this weekend.
Yeah,
and
he was great. I thought he was fantastic.
They cut to him, and you could tell he was being real coy because they were like, "No, we're appealing this shit."
Yeah,
It's like I can't talk real much about it right now. But we're looking.
My ex-wife will kill me. I can't say anything. A lawyer.
I actually thought post-race when they spoke to him, he was really good about it. You know, like you could see that his goal was to make Piastri laugh, to make him smile. You know, it's like
which is never going to happen.
No, but you know, he's there to keep people happy. He's not there to excuse himself or reason away why they didn't give him the place back. Piastri's smart enough to know why they didn't do it. Norris is smart enough to know why he won. And everyone's just going to play along. Exactly. We'll move on to Nico Hulkenberg, as we spoke about earlier, came from 19th to 3rd place. Now, that would sound crazy if he hadn't just done something similar the race before, and races leading up to this. He's had a huge amount of overtakes. What's going on with the Sauber? What
it's just him, by the way.
It's only him.
It's only him.
Look, we know he's a good driver, but he held off Lewis to a degree. Not that they ever fought, but he's good. Hey, mate, he's good enough to get 3rd in the Sauber at Silverstone on a race where none of the top dogs, except for Max, had any kind of mishap. And even Max's mishap wasn't a DNF. So it wasn't like their strategy was particularly outrageous. They didn't do anything that
I think at
risky.
the end of the day, you just got to be there, right? And you see the opportunities and you just take it. And I think that's what he's good at. Like, I was chatting to some of the boys today about the race and talking about Nico in particular. And they're like, how has he been around for 15 years and never actually won a podium? How is he
he's never been in a good enough
a couple of times. That's why.
Yeah, he's never been the number one driver in a strong team.
No, but that's my point though, right? Is like he's always had a team. For the most part,
yes,
he's always been in a team. He's been in 8 teams.
He's a strong driver.
Journeyman.
He did win Le Mans. Maybe it's those when you perform well in your early days.
No, that's true.
People hold on to you for a little longer, because they there's that hope. Now, I think it's what are the odds that you never get one of those random podiums where half the track DNFs and then you slide on, that's more likely to have happened by now, right? But this was he earned this. There wasn't like a
100%
mishap where he just kind of slid on. So I think that's what made this all the more impressive. But I
do think it's funny because they kept showing his car. It gave you enough time to realize they have no sponsors. They've just got Steak.
Just Steak.
Who show up on my Instagram feed with lads magazine kind of videos of you'll never believe this guy falling down a hill chasing a cheese wheel, and it just says Steak underneath.
What did that? Because they had an improvement put on their car this week, Ev. Do you know what that was?
No, I don't.
They had a new floor.
Yes, that's what it was. New floor.
Yeah, that's about it.
I think it was well deserved. Everyone was very happy. What was the hilarious part? That would have been such a big deal for Norris to have won his first Silverstone. That's a huge deal for him. Yet no one cared. Everyone was chanting Nico. It was all about Hulkenberg. Everyone rushed over to congratulate Nico. Now, Oscar. One more thing I'll defend Oscar about. Oscar was the first to congratulate Lando. He was the first to go over, shake his hand. I think
he was the first one there as well.
He's a good sport.
He's
everyone
the first
wants
one
to blow up.
Him.
There's so much rivalry between the two of them.
No.
I think those two is just there's no animosity going on there.
Yeah.
It's like Hulkenberg. I think that's why when you asked, why does Hulkenberg always seem to have a team? He's just a good teammate. I don't think he's ever clashing heads.
I think you're right, yeah.
I still can't believe he came from 19th. Anyway.
Did you see, though, and it was a sad moment, though, when, they do the anthems and then they get the champagne going, that none of them sprayed Nico.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, really?
Oscar and Lando just sprayed their, obviously.
I saw he was off to one side.
Yeah, well, he was.
And they just ignored him, and I was like,
to be honest,
a shame.
After watching that, I didn't notice that, but I also thought it was a pretty fucking boring celebration on the podium. Now, like, Oscar wasn't excited for second. Lando was kind of just like, well, I should be here. Nico just didn't know what to do because he's never been on the podium before.
He forgot his helmet.
Did you see that like piece of shit medal they give out? It's like the
Lego
president's medal.
Oh
no!
It's
MBS has his own medal. He gave himself a medal to give to other, and it's called like the president of the president's medal, like of the FIA, and it's who he picks as his favorite driver for the day, and he gave it to Lando for winning. And I'm like, who would give, even for like political,
not even McLaren was giving it to.
Yeah, like give it to Nico. Give it to Nico. Why aren't you giving that to Nico?
Well,
and like just to win votes because he's up for election. Like, just
good on you, driver of the day poll, for actually giving it to the driver of the fucking day.
100%.
I think it's the first time this year that it has gone to the correct person. Driver of the year. Like, that could be one of the greatest results in F1. All those results were interesting, and the podium.
His children can be proud of him now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Put that in a video. Put that on a t-shirt.
I thought it was great in that the wet created drama but didn't ruin the race. It was crazy how
it
much
was
rain
close.
there was.
It was close to ruining the race, though.
Which is what's so great about it. It was on the races.
Well, yeah, you saw George, though, goes like, it should be red flagged. This race should be red flagged.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Like, it's like, I wonder why, George. I wonder why.
That.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Sir, Evan cut the line in the milk line. All right. Well, let's move to the rest of the top 10. We have Sir Lewis Hamilton from Ferrari. A respectable result. But interesting to see that he struggled to catch the Sauber at the end, which is obviously also a Ferrari engine. It was noted, though, the Ferrari top speed was well above the Sauber, which we have discussed. But Lewis came out and said the car was very hard to drive. Although we never really hear Lewis finish off the podium and rejoice about how great his car is to drive, do we?
What I found adjacent to this... in the qualifying, in Q3, Max did his first run, and he's like, bro, this car's undrivable. It's undrivable. He comes out in his second run and creams everybody in a perfect race. And so, like, Lewis is like, oh, this car is just like, it's just a bit shit. And it's like, you're still coming, like, you should be coming third. Like, you should get him. Like, romance aside, you should really dominate.
He should have been winning.
Yeah.
So basically, he was making up the time with no problem.
Right.
But then it was the final stint on the softs, which that he significantly dropped off from, which was suggested that, as Lewis put it, the car doesn't like low speed corners. And I would have argued that Silverstone has some of the fastest corners. But the front left tire was wearing down a lot faster than anticipated. So because of that,
it was also a stint where he was in the 4-second range, and they didn't televise it. But all of a sudden, you saw him go to like 7.5 seconds behind. It's like, what the fuck happened to Lewis? And he had a mishap just where George was. No, he almost did. Where George did, where Piastri almost lost it. And where you go off road. Apparently, but it was not broadcast for whatever reason. So he lost seconds on that and just never recovered from it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't look.
Hey man, he didn't put a foot wrong, Nico. He didn't put a foot wrong.
That's why Nico came third, because he didn't fuck it up. So. Does he now enter the discussion Rosberg, Hulkenberg, Hamilton. Is that the order now? Is that how we put
For what?
For the greatest driver of all time? Because, same engine, but he still beat him. Anyway,
Jesus.
I've just once loved Hamilton to come out and say, I just drove so well today. The car was great, but all we could manifest was fourth, and I guess that's what's going to happen today. There's always an issue. It's always an issue is why he didn't get up there. Maybe Lewis just struggles taking over guys called Nico. Maybe that's the issue. Anyway, number 5, the old Red Bull, Max Verstappen. Now, Max was having a pretty good drive despite his shitty car. He was holding on to second and first for some time. I know the McLarens got round him in the end, but for a car that was apparently undrivable, he was holding on pretty good. He got a pole position.
He
clearly
smashed it in Q3.
The top speed of that Red Bull. I don't know if you saw the ghost car video, but the top speed of the Red Bull was quite significant compared to the McLaren. But when it came to the corners, McLaren had so much better control and downforce.
Christian Horner was saying, a smaller wing. Christian Horner said it was like the wing's the size of a napkin. That's like in the sense of small it was.
So how much it's actually going to do anything.
Yeah. No, I know, but that's how he described it.
All right,
Yeah.
Well, okay, that gamble backfired when it came to the restart of the safety car. Now, in your opinions, I'll ask you, Tay, then I want Evan. Just a short answer. Do you think that whole episode with Piastri is what caused Max, indirectly or directly, to spin out on the next corner?
That was so funny.
I think it would have had to have played some effect to it, right? Because the tyres had drastically cooled down when he couldn't overtake him and then realized what happened. And then it was that weird, what the fuck just happened? And then the quick, all right, now we're off. I think he just was, he was rage baited. He was probably fuming. And then he was like, fuck this guy. And you know how you get road rage. And I reckon that's what probably caused it. Emotion and cold tires.
Yeah, admittedly, we didn't hear the radio after he spun.
No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't.
What we heard was him saying, because it's a delay signal with the radios, to stop people from cheating, from teams from cheating. What we heard from him was like a bit of confusion as to why he wasn't expecting Oscar to brake. Oscar had said the lights went out on the car, so he thought, for safety's sake, I need to back everybody up right at that point, which is true. But it's neither here nor there because that argument's moot now. And then, so whether or not Max's tire preparation wasn't right, I doubt it. I think it wasn't going to get so much better in one further cycle of braking and accelerating.
But
the way that Max was like very respectfully honest, and he was like, well, what's happened? Like, and to be fair, Oscar wouldn't have done anything, neither would have Max, to compromise them winning the race.
Exactly.
Like this idea that Oscar's at fault.
It was intentional.
Well, no, he wouldn't have, he very much wouldn't have done anything. Neither would have Max, even though we know Max can be very...
I thought Max took it very well. I don't think he really exploded or anything like that.
Maybe he did. Maybe as he's spinning, he's like, fucking car!
Well, that's sort of when he spun. I think maybe he did when he spun, but before the spin, he seemed pretty... He didn't seem to... Like, his complaint was there, but it wasn't outrage. But I think you're right.
No, that's right. That's right.
I think that braking concentration was all it took. A little bit of blood to the head, and that's all. And conditions like that, gone. And that basically...
It was so surprising. It was so surprising for him to make a mistake like that.
So many narratives in this race. Yeah. So many.
He's crashed there before, I think, a few years back.
Last year. Last year or the year before. No, it's that same corner, DB. You're right. He went over the hump. He went over the curb too much. Yeah. And he bottomed out and it spun him around a couple of years ago.
Brilliant. Well, he held on to fifth because he did actually drop to P10 then. So he made it all the way back.
He fought back,
Yeah, so he's now still third in the driver's standings with 165 points. I must also add that Piastri is only now 8 points ahead of Norris. So Piastri's got to fucking step it up. We get to P6.
He did win it.
He did step it up, and it was taken from him.
Yeah, exactly.
We have Pierre Gasly of Alpine, or Alpine, however Ollie would like to pronounce it. Alpine. Best result of the year and a surprising Q3 appearance, according to Gasly himself, with a lack of upgrades compared to his midfield rivals like Aston Martin and Sauber. So to come out of a poor practice session, Gasly was right on the edge of Q3 and then performed basically to perfection in Q2 to reach the car's maximum potential. He ultimately relied on the chaos of the conditions, although his race owes nothing to chance, as he claims his management of the car in the wet prevailed where others got caught out. Red Bull must be wondering why they let a driver like Pierre go, don't you think, Taylor?
I mean, how many years has it been since Gasly drove for Red Bull? I don't think they give a shit right now.
Maybe not, but I think he's always done pretty well since Red Bull. I think not. He has had a horrendous year this year. I don't know if it's him or the car or what, but
I think it's the team.
Geez, they came
in charge.
They barely made it. He was 15th at the end of Q3, and then suddenly makes his way to all the way to Q1.
Lewis nearly got knocked out in Q1, for Christ's sake.
Oh, mate.
How shit a Ferrari. Like, anyway. Sorry.
Well,
press my buttons. I pressed my buttons.
Gasly ultimately just maybe... I've never really known him to be good in the wet, but he obviously had a very good race. He just was lucky not to make any mistakes, I guess, which was a big part of the whole weekend. Then we get to number 7, which is... Stroll Watch. Stroll Watch was in full effect this weekend, and the Stroll Patrol looked like he was ready to start the biggest party of the year here at the Idiots headquarters by finding a spot on the podium. He was sitting in third for some time. And in true Lance style, he reminded us why we just can't fucking stand the guy. And he stated that the Aston Martin is the worst piece of shit I've ever driven. This is a guy who just got P7. He was sitting on podium territory for a while and has the gall to blame his fucking car at the end of a race which was so erratic. It was like essentially a Mario Kart race with oil spills and banana peels everywhere. And man, it must be the car's fault, if he's dropping behind Lewis and Nico. It couldn't be his driving. It must be the car. Fucking idiot. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing him up there.
It is funny, though, because I'd love to understand where he should be at.
Yes,
where he thinks should be at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I remember even other comments he's made where he's been like, well, if I was in the Red Bull, Max would be seeing my tail lights. And it's like, no, bro. The fuck he would. He'd be in the fucking Aston Martin and still doing better than you.
When we go to Stroll Watch,
celebrate here.
When we get to Stroll Watch,
Stroll Patrol.
When we get to Stroll,
it's Stroll Watch, but he's driving a Stroll Patrol. He is Stroll Patrol, right?
When we get to talk about Stroll and you say Stroll Patrol, can you put the sound effect in of the Predator vision, like?
Just that enough.
Stick around.
You're so random, Evan.
Aston Martin.
But his race.
It gets better. With this result, he is now ahead of his teammate Fernando Alonso. How?
Oh my God.
How is he ahead of Alonso?
So I have to what did he finish last week? It was
know.
Alonso in the
he was
points.
like last, wasn't he? Last?
He was last
15th?
last week.
He's been last for a few races
17th,
in a row.
but he should have been 18th, and there was only 18 cars in the thing.
Most of the DNF.
I think it was last in Canada, wasn't he? Or
he was.
He's
It was
been,
Canada.
like,
I just don't understand.
No, I was thinking
bad.
of Alonso because the reason why Alonso was so far up the pack was because they did the one-stop strategy. Whereas,
we'll get to that,
fair,
but because his strategy was
to be fair, with him in 7th, I mean, he lost those last 2 places pretty quickly. Like
Yes.
He held on to it for a little bit, but then he gave them away pretty quickly once Max took him easily.
My question to you guys, is it more fun to have Lance up in the points or not?
It goes against our narrative.
It's almost like he's given us personally a big fuck you.
Yeah.
Is it more fun to talk about it when he's doing well?
Yes.
Because we get those little moments where he's like, I got 7th, but my car's the worst piece of shit ever. If I had a good car, I would have won. Like, I only came 7th because my car sucks.
The Wile E. Coyote is only funny when he runs off the cliff and then he turns to camera and is like, meep, meep. And then he looks down. And that is like, we know Lance has yet to look down to realize that there's nothing beneath him and he's about to fall. And it's just sheer, like, hubris has left him out there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just
I love
that
this.
momentum.
But he does seem to do well when there's carnage. He seems to just skate through
If he's not the one
with
causing
that
the
fucking
carnage,
smirk.
then yeah.
Can you imagine him
No, you're
driving
right.
past
You're right.
and just looking at you with that big smirk with his stupid mouth?
Oh, you just want to smack it.
Yeah, he's like the rich kid in like a Disney movie, the bad guys.
Well, why he got the podium was because like everybody crashed out in front of him or something.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I loved
like,
about
alright.
Nico's podium. It wasn't like we all crashed out and Nico got a podium. Like Lance did.
No, exactly.
Right. Well, a very different story was number 8. We have Alex Albon for Williams. His equal best finish at Silverstone. Funnily enough, Alex managed to grab a few. Well, man, and he was happy with his result too, as opposed to Lance, who was driving the piece of shit. Alex managed to grab a few places early because I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but at the start of the race, many drivers opted to pit immediately for slicks. And after a few virtual safety cars and some changing weather, he found himself in P2. While the rain came down heavily, however, his inters soon ran out. And after a safety car and a late pit to mediums, Alex managed his tyres well, and he even took Alonso on the very final lap. He was very happy, and the conditions were to his liking. And he did say in his interview that he loved having such a small racing line with minimal room for error. Do you reckon that's like a humble brag of Alex just saying how much of a better driver he is? And I like it. I like where there's no room for mistakes. I like a small racing line because obviously people like George Russell.
What a relief! I'm sauce. What a relief!
Yeah. Don't need a red flag here.
I'm so glad we were driving on Rainbow Road instead of like Mario GP circuit.
They drive 18-wheelers and it's like on a knife's edge of a cliff.
Like a truck simulator or something.
Yeah. It's like, oh, God,
Albon.
I'm so glad I've got less room to work with.
Yeah. It really shows how much of a better driver I am than everybody else. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm sure he didn't mean it like that, but it was funny.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't get that vibe from him. Yeah, I don't get that
No,
vibe
which
from
is
him.
what
I feel
which
like he's
I
quite a
loved
humble
it.
dude.
Yeah, but it was just such a.
His
that's
mother
what I mean.
sure
He said it in such a humble way, which is just why I laughed. I was like, what a great little brag.
It was just nice to see him. I
like it when they cut to like Milhouse in the future and he's all jacked up because he thinks working out will make Lisa impressed by him. So he's just like, and he's got like a huge like Jesus cross tattooed on his chest, and he's like, you're saying all the wrong
things. He's probably
things.
picking up women everywhere else, just except where he wants them. But I like when a driver like Albon comes in not that low. 8th is great for Williams, but still be happy about it. It's not like an Aston Martin coming in 7th and being upset. So number 9, Alonso for the Aston Martin. As I said, he got overtaken in the last lap by Albon. He believes luck wasn't on his side as he came in at what he believed to be a disappointing 9th place. Probably because he lost to Stroll. I mean, ultimately, he wasn't happy with the team's strategy decisions either, which I think is fair. He went in very early for slicks and proved to be the wrong decision. Andy Cowell even admitted that they probably switched Alonso to the dry tyres a bit too early. Easy to say in hindsight, Andy. Like, no shit. I'd argue much too early, but what do I know, Ev? If you were Andy Cowell, do you think it was worth the risk? With trying to avoid the use of hindsight, was it a worthy risk to take at the time?
Without hindsight, what I can tell you unequivocally and without experience, I can tell you that using anybody except Lance to be a sacrificial goat is the correct and only choice that you are in the position to make.
It's like, oh, we're
Am I wrong?
And this
Am
is
I wrong?
bring Lance. We're going to bring
said the
Lance
quiet
in for
part
the
out
slicks
loud.
early.
You're welcome.
And Lawrence is there looking at him, shaking his head. No.
Don't do it. Don't you
What,
do it.
what percentage of risk? It's about a 50-50 risk. Bring in Alonso. But Sir
60-40.
Alonso, bring in Alonso.
So on that note, and I guess we can probably touch on it when we actually get to him, but he's not in the top 10, so we probably won't get to him. But,
Yeah, let's talk about him now.
Yeah. So Ferrari brought fucking Charles in early and put him on slicks, even though they saw how horrible Alonso was doing.
So did Mercedes.
Completely fucked his
Right.
race.
Great segue, right? So Alonso mentioned the conditions like these are possible. Like so what happened with Alonso? He was basically saying conditions like these are times where Aston Martin can get a podium. It's because of the crazy chaos, right?
Yes.
And geez, he must have great faith in that car at the moment, because I don't know what upgrades have, but he seemed to feel like he could be up there. Like, conditions are one thing, but you've got to have the pace as well. So Aston Martin must have something cooking under that hood. But just to go where you were going then, Tay, about Leclerc, Mercedes did the same thing to Russell. Like, they brought him in, and everyone was like, why are they doing that? Like, clearly Aston Martin's struggling out there. What secret sauce did fucking Mercedes have on their tyres that it wasn't going to happen?
Exactly.
Like, can you explain this, Ev? What's happening there?
Oh, sorry, yes. So it takes, and I swear to God, and this is like decades of experience in that world. Not me, I mean, like, for the Formula One in general. It is as much as a quarter of a lap worth of getting the wet off of the track, and you can go on slicks. You can tiptoe on the last corner, if that's what you need to do, and then gun it, and you just like drive around everybody like it's
yeah. Wow.
And so it's always worth that. Martin Brundle usually says something to that effect every time that this happens.
Yeah, because it's like 60 liters a second or something that gets taken off with those wheels. So
when George came in, and I wrote it down, I was going to use it as my buzzer, and it was like, and he said, as it came out, he goes, "It's raining." Brilliant.
Yes. That was fucking awesome.
Like, so there's a really weird thing that's going on where when Michael was successful, when Lewis was successful, Verstappen and Vettel, when they were successful, the team bowed to their whim. If you want to come in first and get the advantage, even though you don't deserve it, you come in first. If you want to go on wets, inters, or dry, like the driver's the only one who knows. So the team knows all the data. We get all the data you need. And yet it's the driver who's feeling it, because their ass is literally millimeters from the road.
And George is usually the one on the the front foot telling them when he wants to change, right? So
that's true.
Why? What do you think? Like, what was he like? Do you think he thought maybe the hards would be a bit stronger against the conditions than the softs? I mean, I don't know.
Why he went on the hards
makes no sense
because they're so cold.
Yeah, okay.
They're so cold. And then if there's any wet, it's going to suck out any heat that you can put into it anyway. And he's just like, this is the worst.
I mean,
this
could be one of the worst weekends for Russell, because all the rumors all week about him and his departure from Mercedes and having Max come in. So he really had to like show other teams and remind them why he is still the number one fucking Mercedes driver by quite a margin. And he said that everything went wrong, and it seems none of Mercedes' gambles paid off. He didn't seem to blame himself for any of the gambles. The second call to hard tyres proved to be the biggest setback, spinning off the track and onto the gravel, which really fucked him. So we can assume it was his decision to change to slicks, can we?
I didn't hear any radio call for that.
No, usually you hear him say it, don't you?
Yeah, it would have been offered to him, and he would have said, in like 12th place, we'll give it a go.
He did actually.
Yeah.
He did. He goes, it's
I
like,
think he did, yeah.
He said something like, let's risk it. Let's take the gamble.
Okay.
He did, actually.
Okay.
They offered it, and he goes, fuck it. Let's just go with it.
I imagine in his position, you needed to take a risk. Yeah.
I think he'd already fallen back. Yeah.
Do you think he's like upset that there's a Lando stand and not a George stand?
Yes,
Probably.
I would be. I'm upset that there's a Lando stand. And apparently, so I had some great feedback about Silverstone on the weekend. We had a on-site reporter, David Streamer, who's a wrestling mate of mine. He was sitting at. He was so last week I was saying Silverstone could be tough because you can't see much of the track. He was sitting at Maggots and Beckett's. Fuck me, what a position he was in. You can see so much of the track. So not only
cost him?
I actually don't know. But where he was sitting, you obviously get Maggots and
know.
Beckett's. But you can see over the barrier to the start, the first corner, and the big straight. So you can see fucking heaps. I was like, that best seats in the house probably. And you got a screen. So if you ever go to Silverstone, sit there. And he was saying that every time Lando and Hamilton came past, the crowd erupted. But every time George came past, it was only a smattering of applause. So I don't know what's happening. Is everyone scared if they clap?
Why did they hate him now?
He used to be super popular. Last time I was there, he was incredibly popular. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's because he's not performing. I don't know. Anyway, that was that for him. I really hope... I really didn't like how Mercedes, if the rumors are true, I do not like how Mercedes are treating Russell. So for those who don't know, during the week, it was heavily suggested that Max Verstappen will be moving to Mercedes next year, which is one of the reasons. This was all set off by how well he treated Kimi last week.
No, next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
So cutting the contract short.
Sorry, cut that out.
The problem I have is that the person losing out on this would be Russell. Now, Russell has been the best driver in Mercedes now and while Lewis was there.
3 years,
yeah,
maybe?
and he is, quote unquote, was the second driver. He has done nothing to suggest he is anything but the best for that team and one of the best on the grid when Mercedes has a good car. But somehow he sees himself possibly without a team next year, and the only choices seem to be Aston Martin and Red Bull. That is pretty bullshit in my eyes, and it's made me look at Toto and Mercedes very differently. Now, a lot of people, you guys might argue that, well, that's what's going to happen. We have so much faith in Kimi. I haven't seen anything about Kimi's driving that suggests that he will be better than George.
This week is super disappointing.
I do.
Disappointing most weeks.
Oh, there's a huge reason.
Tell me.
I think there's a lot of potential still
His
there.
Cost.
How
much are they paying Kimi?
Elaborate.
$20 an hour for a babysitter? Like, you've got George, his next contract, he wants to be paid the big bucks. Deservedly so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll
let him finish.
Yeah, I will.
Kimi's on, like, nothing. He's, like, having a 16... Like, you mean Lamine Yamal for Barcelona. Probably the hottest player right now in football.
Always a football reference.
He was on, like, imagine a young David Campese.
No one is going to know
another overpaid person. So what you're trying to say, Evan, in a nutshell, is that Antonelli costs less, so it's worth more for Mercedes.
I don't know.
Why does Mercedes care how much anything is? They've got so much fucking money.
And that's
I know that.
And that's
but they're not going to have
point.
George and they're not going to have George and Max.
No, but that's the thing. Obviously, these are all rumors, right? There's no. It's all talks. Christian and Helmut are adamant that they're just trying to fuel fire that doesn't exist. In regards to why they're doing it with Russell, I don't necessarily think it's a money thing, because what he's asking for, if he's asking for the buku dollars, he hasn't won a championship. He hasn't shown that he can be that world champion to then justify that sort of money. So I don't know if it's something that Toto's trying to avoid, but at the end of the day, I feel like Toto's going to, in his head, he's going, don't worry, guys, everything will be revealed soon. You know, he's just waiting to be able to discuss and actually be open about whatever it is that these discussions are happening and these talks are happening. I think he's also wanting to do a little bit of a fuck you Christian.
Yeah, well, yes, but he's been very quiet this year. Why have we not really heard anything from Toto in 2025?
Because he's still a bit offended because Christian told him to change his fucking car.
I thought you were going to say Christian. Christian's been very quiet this year.
Also Christian. We haven't seen enough shots of him in that little number 1 square in the.
Yeah. I think that if Christian loses Max, then Christian isn't in the job anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
He made that team out of nothing. He deserves so much credit that I'm uncomfortable to give. He very much deserves so much credit for this, even if all the stuff that's come out recently, which is patently disgusting how you treat people who work for you. But yeah, if he loses Max, there is no political leg to stand on for him in his position.
Time to hang up his boots.
And Seb Vettel is in the wings, and everybody likes him now because he's an angel.
Yeah, but angels don't make good.
I guess
don't necessarily make good team principals.
But we should round off the rest of the grid before we get too sidetracked with
No, but that's what I wanted to. There's not really another point to talk about that, so that's why I wanted to talk about that then, because we're on George. Right, so wrapping up the bottom 10, we've got Behrman at 11, the two Haas's 11, 13, Behrman and Ocon. The only really notable point I noticed for them, a great pre-race show with Behrman and Martin Brundle driving those classic cars.
Oh, wasn't that great?
Yeah. And then mid-race, Haas doing their synchronized crashing together. I'm not sure if any of you saw it. Look it up on YouTube.
Yes, I did.
Haas perfectly spinning off the track. Like, it was beautiful. It was good. It was like...
Martin has said it several times. Apparently it's like... not like destiny or fate, but when you see the guy in front of you go off, especially under like a safety car, you're so locked into...
watching
watching them that you go off in and he's like, I'll be thinking that's the dumbest spin I've ever seen, and then while you're thinking that, you're spinning off.
It's the equivalent of like when you're skiing or snowboarding and you see a tree and it's like, don't fucking hit it, and you keep looking at it and you keep going towards it.
Okay, so at 12th we had Carlos Sainz in his Williams. Nothing particularly to write home. He did have a little moment with the
honeymoon's over.
That's
what you can write home about.
Yeah. Alex having a great weekend. Sainz at 12. I didn't really hear what he had to say, but nothing really awesome about that. 14, Leclerc, again, had that little bump with Sainz towards the end. Poor strategy from Ferrari for him, which explains his terrible position, and, didn't do great in the wet. Then we've got Tsunoda at 15. What is left to say about Tsunoda at Red Bull? He is just not performing. He doesn't know what's going on. He feels lost, like every driver who's ever been in Red Bull, except Daniel and Perez. I think we've spoken about him plenty, but again, just not a memorable race.
Like what's crazy, and I can't remember where I heard this. God, I hope it wasn't because we talked about it last week. But it was something about Tsunoda and the fact that when you look at it on the data, there is not... Oh, that's right. Now I remember. It was on the F1 show. On data, there is nothing that you can pinpoint that he's doing wrong. So you know how you want a tangible thing, about going, okay, that's where you fucked up. That's where you need to improve, blah, blah, blah. But apparently there is nothing. So
But then is it like... You know how Red Bull had no downforce this weekend, like that paper-thin wing?
Yeah, I don't know if Tsunoda had that
You just have to know how to drive like that. You have nothing to rely on to keep you in check on the road. So it's like driving on ice. It's like if you don't have the confidence to make the strong move, you just have to slow down more than necessary.
Yeah, I didn't see him have any crashes or spin-outs, to be fair. So
but what I mean is it's like being too careful. Being too careful.
Yeah.
We don't have our resident marketing expert here, but...
I've got a bachelor's in marketing, thank you very much.
Yeah. There you go.
Zero experience.
So, Ferrari, quote-unquote, don't spend a cent on marketing.
No.
Never have. Quote-unquote. Supposedly. And so because F1 has so much visibility, they don't need to. And they're Ferrari and they don't need to.
No, their marketing spend is things like the Ferrari club in itself is a marketing expenditure.
Yeah. They spend so much on marketing, Ferrari.
They spend a lot on marketing, not a lot on advertising, I'd say.
Yes.
Was more...
Is that above the line? I don't know. These aren't things I know. There's above the line and below the line.
I don't know.
Neither here nor there.
I haven't been there.
Red
I haven't been
Bull,
in a class for 15, 18 years.
Red Bull don't make anything besides a drink.
And advertising.
And all they do is sponsor like extreme sports and all that.
Athletes, yeah.
Are they failing? Well, they are failing if they're not coming first with Max, or they're not in a tussle with, George or something. If they're getting the same amount of screen time as Haas or Williams, then isn't that like a massive failure on the spend? Oh, Digby rolls his eyes. So. You didn't see it, but we all heard it.
I didn't roll my eyes. I was thinking, I don't think it really matters
because it's a marketing exercise.
I think the fact that they just have a team is usually enough. Because, Red Bull's an anomaly. I've never understood this right from when those drinks became a thing. Why does energy drink and extreme sports at all go hand in hand? Like Monster and motocross. It's like, is it because that's their target market? But Coca-Cola's not doing that, and Coca-Cola is arguably just coffee. Where's the coffee? Like, hearty cup of coffee and a big, but that's not, big wave.
You don't think of coffee when you think you're jumping off a cliff or skydiving.
No, you don't, because that's
Bottas.
No. But
doesn't Bottas famously drink a triple
Mountain Dew
espresso or something?
Mountain Dew did it first. Mountain Dew used to have extreme sports commercials in the 90s before Red Bull was a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was like, my brain just never computed it. I don't get it. And Red Bull do these massive events. I hate Red Bull.
Remember, V was beforeRed Bull. Remember,
it was, yeah.
Oh, Guarana,
same problem.
That's right. Yeah. Same thing, yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, I digress.
Cut that. That wasn't.
So Antonelli retired. So it was not a week for rookies. Like the rookies were nowhere to be seen. All of them DNF'd except Behrman, which is outrageous. And I guess the question is, Ev, is that just we're rookies and we don't know how to race in the wet?
Yeah, maybe. It wasn't full wet though. It was
wet enough to get the red flag out to stop everyone.
Oh wait, when?
When did the red flag come out?
Sorry, they didn't red flag it. They safety
qualifying.
They safety card it. Sorry.
Yeah,
they did a couple. They did one safety car in the beginning, and then I think it was one safety car halfway through. That was when Piastri did his quote unquote brake check, and then it was every other time. It was just a digital safety car.
No. But the actual first safety car was just because it was raining. There was no crash. It was just rain.
Yeah,
and they put, which I thought was odd because I would have thought you went wets first.
Yeah,
no, that was the second
it's
one.
funny.
The first one was just wet.
NASCAR and IndyCar, they send out a...
Oh, shit.
They have they send out a truck that's got, like...
A sweeper.
Jets on the back. And it's like jet engines going...
Drying.
And it does an excellent job.
It's like car wash.
That does an excellent job. It does not work in Formula One because our tracks are so much bigger than an oval. And then, because by the time you finish on one corner, the last one's completely wet again. So, which is why what you need is like a whole, when like NFL, they bring on like defensive team. And then 30 guys go off, and then 30 guys go off. What you need are like drivers in Formula One or F2
wet drivers.
But with wet drivers with wet tires to like clean out all the water, and they're just go like hell for leather, because the faster you go, the more water you get rid of.
That was actually
that'd be great.
That was crazy because, correct me if I'm wrong here, no one actually went on wets, did they? They were all on
that's what I was so confused about.
Yeah.
They never got to wets, and it was raining so heavily, and they just went straight to safety car.
So it's been a few years now where the wet tire compound is undrivable. So whenever there's wet weather,
well, just like the Ferrari.
So Taylor. whenever it rains, it's always unsafe because the wet weather tires are inherently unsafe, and so they just call it off. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
I can tell you what, most of those crashes were because of the wet weather. Lawson's crash, however, came from Tsunoda getting in Ocon's way, which was getting in Lawson's way, which then knocked Lawson off the track. I mean,
it's like poetry.
They didn't do anything wrong, but ultimately it was Lawson's downfall. And then obviously there was Colapinto, our favourite, didn't even start, was meant to start from the pit lane, stalled, and that was his end of race. So good on you, Colapinto.
He stalled in like second gear?
Yeah, stalled in second.
Which seems weird. I know that first gear is like meaningless in a Formula 1 car, but how it is that seems like a team issue because they've got a big starter that they shove up the rear of the car, and it's a long pipe, and that's the starter motor.
Yeah.
Which you never get to see because it's not interesting.
It'd be I think it's fascinating.
I know, but not for like a layman. And so that starter motor gives it enough torque to go into first gear.
Right.
And so he's then put it into second because first gear is meaningless in a Formula 1 car. And then it's stalled. And like, that's not really the way that they're framing it is, he stalled. Like, he stalled. Like, no,
he stalled, yeah.
What are you doing?
The car stalled.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a minute to get going.
If you watched the Sky broadcast before the race, you would have seen Brad Pitt drive an F1 car around the Texas track.
McLaren.
Coda.
After watching the Top Gear where they drive an F1 car and struggle, then Colapinto has struggled and he stalled. Brad Pitt did a pretty fucking good job driving that fucking car.
Even Martin did an amazing job, and it'd been years since he's been in the car.
Yeah.
It was funny because Zach's comments were like, clearly Martin is an F1 driver, but Brad still did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
He's kind of becoming the new Tom Cruise, where he just learns to do shit now.
He was very humble about it, though. He was saying like how, it was like a year and a half of filming and then, 2 years because of the training beforehand.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I mean, clearly, even though it was an F2 car, I do wonder how much opportunity he had in a proper F1 car, or if that was the only time. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a great video that I haven't seen the movie yet. I've been rejecting it with all of my.
We need to go see it. We all need to go see it so we can talk about it.
Even if it's just because we hate it. Yeah, he said we'd hate it. Ollie has informed me and Ev that we will fucking hate the F1 movie.
He's right.
I've been told I'll hate it.
Me and Digby are gonna hate it.
I can't shut my brain off
to
hate it. I was just mentioning that because Colapinto stalled. That's all.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt did not stall.
Nice segue.
Brad Pitt didn't stall.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were going to raise this later, but this was the first race. I thought it was a really interesting point. This is the first race for anybody who's just seen the movie, who's just seen the movie on the weekend, on like opening weekend.
It's the brand new
this
F1 experience.
First, like,
great,
I've got
great
there's a new
introduction.
race.
Their debut.
Yeah.
How good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they've been paying attention, and hopefully everyone else, including you two, because that's where we are right now. We are at our world famous quiz. Haas, you've been paying attention. The weekly quiz where me, Ev, and Tay go head to head to see who knows the most current information and history, and I guess geography, for a sport that travels around the globe.
And food. Food more importantly than anything else.
This week I am stalling in the pits, and I will not be partaking in this competition.
Your brakes have locked up.
I will be brake checking and gifting one of these two the win by default. I have 8 questions for them.
You were guaranteed to win it, were you?
I was.
I don't think I've gotten a point.
Next week, hey, Ollie,
considering
I hosted last week, do you reckon I could just have the win anyway, mate?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, for reference, I think I'm on 8.
No, you're on 7.
I'm on 7. Ev's on 6. Tay's on 5.
I'm on 5. Yep.
Right. So it's Ev's to lose from here. We're almost halfway. It's still fucking tight. So we will have 8 questions. The first 6 just regular questions. Then the last 2 will, if they get it wrong, will have negative consequences. Okay. So,
well, not for me last week, where we all got it wrong, and I still won by default.
Exactly.
You won
exactly.
0.
I pulled yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change question 7. Question 7 does not work in that circumstance, so I'm just going to move that to question 6. All right. Here we go. Before we start, I need some buzzers. This is always my highlight of the week. I know that Taylor's got one prepared. So Taylor, what's your buzzer this week?
All right. So
here we go.
In light of Alonso's comment on the radio, where he was like, he said something along the lines like, "Oh, you guys always know how to fuck me," or something along those lines. He got screwed over with the pit strategy. It made me think of a scene in Big Daddy when Rob Schneider was doing a spelling test.
No, Juice Bigelow. Call him by his name.
No, sorry. Rob Schneider was doing a spelling bee test or whatever with the little boy.
You give him the easy one.
Exactly. You give him all the easy ones. So that is my buzzer.
Nice. This is bullshit.
Well
you give him all the easy ones.
you took us on a walk there, Tay.
The Pop Anonymous.
And you got to top a feel.
Well, now,
you got to top a feel there.
Evan, it is your chance now to one up him.
I was gonna go with George. It's raining. Brilliant. I was gonna say, it's raining man, but I thought that was too on the nose for George.
God,
I'm gonna go with England's own champion, and I will say, "Do I make you horny, baby?"
I knew we were getting more Austin Powers. I think that's his third Austin Powers reference this year.
No.
All right,
and it's worked every time.
We've got the buzzers. Let's go head to head without me getting in your way this week. Question 1, really easy one to get things started.
We'll see.
What were the trophies made out of?
You give me a
Do I make you horny, baby?
Oh, that's Taylor. I heard Taylor first, but I saw Ev. Ev, the movement it took for you to get from the wall to your microphone laid down there.
Lego. And
correct.
And for Norris's one, it was made of gold as well.
Awesome. And he almost broke it.
I would have said Technic.
Well, that wasn't. So
you'd be wrong. So yeah. 1 to Taylor. Number 2. Question the second. How many races?
You give him all the easy ones.
Hold on. This is the closest to the pin.
Okay.
No, that's question 3. Sorry, no, this is not. How many races? So answer, Taylor. Answer, Taylor. You have to be bang on.
Good to give an answer, Tay.
How many races? Yes,
239.
Correct. Well done. How many races did Nico race before his first podium? 239. Now, this is where we go to closest to the pin.
Okay.
So you both get a shot, and whoever gets closest, and you can't just do the thing where you're doing one less or one more, because I'm going to allow that. How many days after Nico Hulkenberg's debut was it before his first podium?
Fucking hell.
I only know years, man. And I can't be bothered trying to get a
fine.
calculator.
I need a...
Do I make you horny, baby?
Hit me, mate.
There you go. Suck that, Tay. That'll wake you up.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Speaking to the microphone.
14,600.
Okay, so we got 14,600 from Ev.
Did I get my decimal right? I maybe got my decimal wrong.
No,
it's either 14 or 1400. Those are my two.
You're only getting different. Well, I'll give you. You said 14,600.
Yeah. All right. So it was 15 years. If you go based on 365, so 10 years, that's 3,650.
As opposed to what?
Hang on.
I'm not to what?
I'm not done. And then obviously another 5 years.
A 345-year day?
I'm not asking for the math. I just need the answer.
I know, but I'm trying to work out the math as I'm telling it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you got 3,
exactly.
2,
How many days
1.
are there in a
What is
year?
it?
4,100.
Well, okay. Closest by far the closest. Much closer than 14,000.
Boo!
The answer is
Actually, it's
5,593 days.
Yeah.
5,593 days.
4,100.
I'm
So,
fucking
idiot.
Was my 1,400?
Taylor.
Was my...
Your 1,400 was still not close enough. No. 1,400
Giving them
is
all
not
the easy
nearly
questions.
I even
That's
fucked
like
it up
4
with that
years.
one.
Is this because I don't read the notes before?
No, there were no notes. Actually,
Ev kept on
I
talking.
know
I
didn't put this in the notes. I just read it earlier this afternoon. All right, number 4, 3-0 to Taylor. Who now holds the record for the most podiums without a win?
You give him all the easy ones.
Yes, Taylor.
Sorry,
no.
Yes.
I've written
Yes,
it wrong.
and?
I've written it wrong. This person has the most starts without ever finishing on the podium. Who is it? So it was, because it was meant to be a carry on from Nico's, right? So Nico had the most. Who has the most?
No, that's right. And then Tay said, Tay and I were...
So it's
Tay
not,
and I are
it's
right.
not Yuki.
We both
Yuki is
understood
incorrect.
the question.
Yuki is incorrect.
Okay.
Yes.
All right then.
All right. Well,
So
Tay, do you want to
that's
go
why
first?
I wanted to check.
Because
I
you
wanted to make
had-
sure. No, Taylor's wrong.
You won
So,
that. No, I know
Yeah,
that.
but
he
Taylor
gets-
was wrong.
It's a new question.
no, it's the same question because he thought I asked. He knew what I was asking and answered accordingly. Do you know who it is? I've never heard of him. 3.
Well, he's got to be on.
2.
You could get some random fucking...
No.
Yeah.
No. Not currently racing. Okay, let's start this again. Who now holds the record for the most appearances in F1 without a podium finish? This person has never been on the podium.
Then I wouldn't have a clue. I went based
Yeah.
on the grid. Current
That's all right.
grid.
Well, now it's-
Tay
now you're
Tay and
switching
I
it
are
again.
right. You're wrong
So-
here. We know what the question
not-
you were trying to
I'm not
ask
wrong.
is. Tay and I are right.
I have no idea.
Like, I'm
I have no
defending
idea.
Tay. Last
I'm
week
so
I was
fixed.
defending you.
Do you have an answer, Evan?
No, because I...
Okay. Adrian Sweet.
Fittipaldi.
So Adrian
Who?
Sutil. Adrian
Oh, yeah,
Sutil. He holds
Sutil. Yeah, Sutil. Yeah.
0 podium
I know him.
finishes and 128 Grand Prix starts. His closest brush with the podium was a 4th place finish at the 2009 Italian.
Hey, that's
Grand
pretty
Prix.
good. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Still
I was
3-0
never
to
gonna get
Taylor.
that. I was going based on.
Nah, I thought
grid.
Evan might know that. I knew that would be
no,
hard.
I thought
I made it
Lance
harder with my
Stroll-
shitty wording. I must have been
Stroll's been
I
in
must
it a
have
lot.
been thinking about the next question. All right, 6. Sorry, question.
Fucking hell,
Question
man.
5. Question 5. 3-0 to Tay. Who were the 2 headliners who performed this weekend at the Silverstone Grand Prix on this main stage?
God, no.
No fucking idea.
No.
No idea.
I'll give you a clue. One of them performed on the racetrack before the race started.
Brilliant.
I didn't watch
Still
that.
no idea.
I didn't watch that.
Great.
Good questions. Good questions, by the way. You should get points for how good these questions are.
Also, I forgot to mention, what the fuck was Tony Hawk doing with his fucking skateboard on the grid?
That
Did
is
you
Yeah, what was
him.
that?
That is
You
him.
said that, and I
It's
didn't
not
see
him.
it, and
He
I want to
doesn't
know
walk
what
around
this
through
means.
life with his
Yes,
fucking
he does.
skateboard in his
Listen,
hand. He
lives
doesn't.
a suburb away from me in Encinitas, and I've seen him, and he does walk around with a skateboard.
He should
He
have left
does.
his
He
fucking.
lives a suburb.
So-
away. He lives
so
a suburb
where's-
away from me. Is the
where's
new
he
like
skating on the F1
men's
track?
like? This is why I can't get it up. Tony Hawk
such a
lives
walking
a sub-
billboard.
Are you
Anyway.
listening to me?
Do either of you know who performed? Oh,
No.
God. Yeah, it was Sam Fender and Fatboy Slim. Fatboy Slim was the one who was DJing.
Wow, that
on
would have
the
been
track.
awesome.
Anyway, question the 6th. These are all worth half a point each. Name the straights and corners at Silverstone.
Whatever my buzzer is. Do I make you horny, baby?
I'll let you
All
know
right,
that.
hit me, Ev.
Hanger straight.
Yes.
Beckett's Maggots and Beckett's.
Yep.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
No. So you got 1.5
Yeah.
points. He has a
No, he
has
gets
a
a-
stand.
he's-
He has a stand.
No,
but
no,
it's
he
not
has a-
straight
he
or
has a
corner.
corner.
Does.
No, he
I'm pretty
does.
sure he's good.
Oh, the Hamilton
look
straight.
at the
Sorry,
front,
sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry. The Hamilton straight.
Oh, no, that's
sorry, I think
fair.
it's because you could. No, wait. It is there. There is the Hamilton straight. I didn't think about it as it being.
Oh, hold up.
It's
the pit
It's the
lane.
pit straight. It's the pit
Yeah.
straight.
Oh, is
I'll
it?
give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That's 4.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it was
Lewis-
what was adjacent to the pit straight. That's
No,
why
no,
I
no,
was
no.
confused.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Lewis Hamilton pit straight.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
And I apologize. I said Sir Lewis Hamilton because I thought that's what Martin
No, I'll give
called
it to you. No, just call
Alright,
it
alright.
the Hamilton pit straight.
All right. I won by default.
No, you've got 2 points. Keep going.
Maggots, hang us straight. Farm. It's like the farm corner.
Farm what?
Well, it's a farm. It's the farm, and it's part of the track. It's called the farm.
What?
Something. That's what it's called.
You don't get that. What? You don't get it.
Do I get a quarter of a point?
Farm.
No. Can I get a quarter?
You got 2 points. Good. You got 2 points. All right.
Oh!
You got Taylor.
Cox.
Yeah, get Tago.
What?
Cox.
How do you spell that?
Oh, you didn't. That's technical.
No.
How does taste?
Then you're incorrect.
That's what I want to know.
Then you're incorrect. It's
search
cops.
history.
It's cops, not
That's
cops.
right.
So I gave you a chance there. You fucked it.
You
so
fucked it.
That's 3-2. So you guys missed the Wellington Strait, Woodcott, Club, Village, Aintree, Abbey, Chapel, Brooklands, Vale, Luffield, and Stowe.
God, you could have won it. If you knew all them, Bev, you could have.
I honestly thought you guys were gonna nail that.
I'm surprised at how many.
I don't know any streets or names of corners. I have no fucking idea.
No, but this is the only track that I know anything about any corners ever. Anyway, all right. So it's 2-3. It's close.
Because I've been there.
No. I know maggots and beggots, and I know that cops isn't cocks. So
I generally thought it was Cox.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you to spell it.
No, he's not wrong. It's because the accent from the English.
So it's 3-2, and then
like
there will be minus points if you answer and get this wrong. Okay? So I'm going to start.
I'm in the hunt.
I'm starting with the easier one first. Norris holds the most podiums without a win. How many podiums was it until his first win? You'll only lose 1 point if you get this wrong. How many podiums without a win did Lando Norris have?
Fuck. I'm going to have to pass. I can't risk it. I have too much to risk.
Someone has to answer it otherwise. Take a guess. No. Someone take a guess.
No,
Evan?
No, it's a bad question. It's a bad question.
The answer is 14.
That's a lot.
That's so much more.
Yeah.
That is so much more. I was going to say 3.
Ev has to answer this question to at least tie, and then I'll have to come up with one more question.
A bonus question.
Yeah. What number am I thinking of?
Or you guys will just draw, and neither of you get a point to win, and I stay ahead, which is more what I'd want. All right, last question. So, on the track, one of the corners is named Club Corner. What is it named after? I'll give you 2 points for a win here, for an right answer, and 1 for a negative.
Can I speak in like a roundabout way?
No, fuck that.
If you can even give me a smattering of what this is called, I'll give it to you.
All right. Well, I have nothing to lose, Taylor, except winning.
Okay.
To won my horny baby.
Evan, hit me, mate.
Ironically, that's what Shane Warne said to.
It's as basic as possible.
Elizabeth Hurley. Isn't it the like the motorsport club of Silverstone?
It is, but I need to know where. So, for instance, you've got the.
Yeah, don't give me the answer.
You've got it
Fill it
at
in.
this. It's not at the racetrack. It's somewhere else.
Yeah, right. It'd be like the county or something.
Where is the club? If you can tell me where the club is, I'll give you it. It is named after the racing club. It's such a shit name. Let's name the corner after the racing club. What should we call it? Let's call it Club Corner.
Club Corner. Yeah, because I know.
All right, Jeremy Clarkson.
He was great the other day.
Yeah.
The whole pit walk I thought was brilliant in Silverstone. I should have mentioned that at the start.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you do 3.
No, I don't know.
2. Okay.
Sorry.
Club Corner is named after the
Club
Racing
sandwich.
Drivers Club in Pall Mall or Pall Mall, however you want to fucking
Yeah,
pronounce
Pall
it.
Mall. Yeah, Pall Mall.
So with that, Taylor is the winner. Yay, Taylor.
Yeah. He won by default.
Well, it wasn't though.
Default.
Because I
Kinda won by
smashed it the
default.
first 3.
I think he kind of won
by the first 3. That's all that matters. As Norris would say.
Well done. Well, that puts Tay back in the running with me on 7 and Ev and Tay on 6 points. Do not miss what happens next in this championship because anything could happen, clearly. So well done, Taylor.
Penalty.
No food questions.
Ah.
Where does the Cornish pasty come from?
We have no race on this weekend, so we are moving straight to one of the greatest moments of the show. It's What's Verstappin? It's our little bit of, pardon the interruption, where we give subjects on the F1 week, and Taylor and Ev will give their unbiased or heavily biased opinion, their 2 cents, a nickel's worth of free advice about why it is or is not the right, the wrong thing, what they want, whoever. I'll give them 20 seconds to talk about. So, guys, please keep it short and sharp because it's about getting to the point as quick as possible. Tay is actually going to ask us one of these ones. I'm going to start off. So, obviously, hot topic this week after the race was Piastri and his brake checking. And the first time we've really seen him be upset or complain about anything about the result of how McLaren ended up. He was not happy with the way he was penalised, and neither was McLaren, and he actually asked for his position to be swapped back.
Not enough.
Now, some of the articles, specifically one I saw from news.com.au, I know, trash journalism, but it still exists. The whole article, at least for the first 3 quarters, was basically saying how angry Piastri was. I've never seen him this angry. How angry Piastri was over the treatment of him. And fans who are usually so supportive noted how angry he was. And I'm reading this going, no, he wasn't angry. He was complaining. He wasn't angry.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring this up, it's a comment more on the journalism, as we are obviously journalists. I thought it would be interesting to know your take because I don't like this type of journalism, and it happens far too often now where they tell you, especially with videos,
type of journalism.
they tell you what happened or how someone responded, and then you watch the video and it doesn't happen. But then you see how others are watching it, and they're not actually taking in the visual of what's occurred. They're only taking in what they were told happened. So they're taking in what the article has told you. So my question is, are you okay with this type of journalism? Or if not, how would you prefer it to be? Now, I understand it's clickbaiting, and that's the only way they can make money these days. So let's forget why. Do you happy? Are you happy with the clickbaiting journalism, or would you rather them do it another way? Taylor, you start.
I think I just want the facts, right? I just want to hear how it actually happens rather than being fed a certain way of maybe how they wished it happened and then tried to show, oh, this is actually what happened. But we've already, as you said, warmed the water to show you like
how you
chummed the water
to be.
Like I've completely lost my train of thought.
So it's like it's interesting enough not to have the predetermined concept thrown in your face.
Yeah, like I mean, if anyone, like I mean, that's the thing, right? Everyone's jumping onto the bandwagon of what F1 is now. So any news agency, news outlet is going to take these certain things and sort of just run with it and then just hope that people will take it on and be like, oh my God, just read the headline and then be, okay, that Piastri is so-and-so.
Well, this is the thing. With this article, I should add, even if you ignored the headline and read the article, it's not until the very end, I guess, for plausible excusing of themselves, they actually do finally give you all the phrases of Piastri to show that he wasn't angry. He just wanted to ask the question. He knew the answer was going to be no before he asked it, but he just wanted a small glimmer of hope in case. Yeah. He wasn't angry. He wasn't upset. He just asked it in case Zach suddenly went, you know what? Yeah. No, we are.
I think
it's
frustrating with those outlets because at the end of the day, like, life is so fast these days that the last thing I want to do is read to the very end. Just give me what I want to see. Give me the actual news rather than having to read through all this dribble to actually get to the facts.
Okay, Ev, what's your thoughts, mate? Do you like how they do it, or would you rather it be a little different?
Oh, yeah, I've become very oppositional to like any journalism. I think it came out. Someone said, "Oh, Christian Horner, what's your backup plan if Max leaves?" And Christian Horner just said, my backup plan is Oscar Piastri."
Yeah, and then they ran with
Which
it.
he probably said all of this stuff. To be fair, I used to get wound up so much by journalism, by Formula One journalism specifically. But the more you think about it, like, no, he probably just said that as a laugh, or like,
just taking the piss.
Wasn't, just taking the piss. It's not meant to be carved in stone. And then like, the idea that there's only like, there's the Atlantic and the New York Times, and to some degree the LA Times, and then you've got like the Financial Times in London. There's so few
Reputable
avenues for like just actual like general journalism.
Well, I'd argue New York Times isn't actual journalism anymore either.
I get that.
But in things like this, right?
I get that.
Because remember, I forgot to mention how great it was when Piastri, during his post-race interview, saying the highlight of the weekend was Nico Hulkenberg winning. It was a bit of a fuck you to Lando. Like, no one cares about you winning at home. We only care about Nico. Because it was by default. Now, then in this article, they go to say, oh, so many people have thought that was out of line. They don't show you anyone. Also, that's the other thing. Journalism has become, have you read all these tweets? These tweets are these people that don't like them. It's like, that's not news.
Yeah, that's right.
People what they
There's
think
no
like,
weight
and
to this.
It's amazing how effective it can be to... to create a perspective for people that doesn't exist. So people start going, everyone thinks Oscar's really angry guy. I was like, have you ever made your own mind up? Yeah, but I've heard that other people are doing it, but you haven't seen those other people do it. No. So what basis? Well, the newspaper told me that.
You haven't seen him do it.
And now everyone thinks he's an angry man. So now what happens is it doesn't take much for us to all go, wow, he's being angry again. And then you get that reputation. I think it can be quite dangerous. Anyway,
do you think that's what happened with Dustin Norris?
No, I made my own decisions up because everyone loved Norris until Russia. Russia was where I turned on him.
Yeah, until the idiots of F1 pointed out that
I made my mind up on him before I heard anyone start.
To be
saying,
fair,
I'm not
lots
saying
of
I
people
had
also
him.
did.
I didn't. No one's listening to me.
It doesn't matter that we're not at the fucking. That's just what's quite funny about like the drive. They're so heavily backed financially. And to their credit, they deserve to be. But you I don't need to be in the room to read
know.
between the lines. Like nothing you're offering me is reading between the lines because you can't afford to do that. Because if you did, they'd stop talking to you with their own side, the only side of the argument that they want you to print. And so outside of all of that, what I think is quite funny is that all of this stuff about Max going to Mercedes. Max wants to be with Mercedes, whatever. I don't give a shit. And he's got a contract till 28.
28, yeah.
And they were like, well, he's got to pay $100 million to get out of the contract.
Pounds.
Well, first of all, doesn't he have the thing that says if he's below third place? Yeah, it's exactly. Does he have exit clause or not? And if he didn't, the idea that I've seen numbers like Mercedes offering $1 billion over like 10 years or something.
I think it's 350 mil.
Yeah, but they'd want to get him into like a LeBron deal where he's like,
well, that's the thing. With people like us, we are discerning and we understand when things are outrageous and we wait for the facts. But a lot of people don't, and they don't care enough. And then suddenly, it doesn't happen with lots of things. So, what was the other subject? Oh yeah, you asked that.
All right. Yeah, so it came out through journalism that Max apparently gives half his salary to his sister.
Doesn't. I'm already going to say that patently can't be true, but go on.
Well, let's assume it is for the sake of what's Verstappin.
So through his LLC, he gives half his salary to his sister, or his sister receives the same amount he does.
Yes.
And it's due to the fact that she went to all his karting, that she was with him every step of the way through his racing career in the early days. And it's his way of repaying. Like he's saying that, she sacrificed a lot for her own career and she doesn't have to do anything for it. She's just, I wouldn't know. I'm just saying this is what I read.
She didn't.
Anyway, let him get to the thing so we can get this done.
So
let him finish.
If you were in this position, would you guys be that generous to your siblings or siblings?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would
100%.
not be giving my family exactly half, but what I would be doing is I'd be buying them things. So let's say I was doing really well, had heaps of money, and then, my brother's doing all right. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to buy you this awesome house. Do you want that house? I'm going to get you the house. You have the house. Like, how good would that be?
But you have to pay the property tax.
Yeah. I'll buy you these things, but I'm not feeding you my income because I still want that person to kind of have projects and have goals. If you're getting fed half money, like, it can take away your motivation to work towards something. Not everyone, obviously. It doesn't happen to everyone. But I think having a reason not to do something is not fun. So I would still want them to... I would give them the gifts, but I wouldn't give them the money.
Right. I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's unlimited money. I'll give you half of unlimited money. What difference does it make? I still got unlimited money.
I might give them money to invest in something, in a project or a business, but I'm just giving them money. Right. I think we got the answer there.
I think so, at the end of the day, it's just, if this is true, it speaks more volumes to who Max is. And I think,
of course.
He's definitely different on the track to how he can be with the media to then how he is outside of all that, and even outside of iRacing and all that.
But this was also a news. This was also a news article because this could just be his publicist putting it out 100%. There, so we all think he's
100%. But
again,
it makes you think. What would you do if you were in that position with your siblings?
It makes me think that he's as generous as Oscar is angry.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
And with that.
So the last one we're going to talk about, which is for all three of us. No, there's one more about M. Night Shyamalan. Oh my
God. What could this have to do with anything, by the way? Before he says anything, what could this possibly have to do with anything?
There are signs in the F1 village that V8 cars will be returning to the paddock. I will start with my opinion to set this up because
there were signs
I've been
in the village.
We're
just gliding over this, by the way.
We're running out of time.
We're just gliding over it.
So
go ahead.
So what happening?
Stop
happening.
So what I'm saying
is, what's the happening? Big V?
Being at a track with the new hybrid cars and the new V8 cars. I know we all love the sound of the V8s, and I'll let you guys tell me why I'm wrong. But I'm going to give you 20 seconds. So mine starting now. I've been to a track with both. And personally, for an enjoyment standpoint, V8s sound cool initially, but they get really fucking annoying quick and they're fucking loud. I cannot enjoy myself. I cannot talk to anyone. It's just loud. I prefer the current situation.
Oh my God. I love that.
Taylor.
I love that so much. I love it.
Well, do you want to talk about it then?
No, Tay, start. No, Tay,
okay,
give me 20 seconds of why you prefer or not.
He's not wrong.
I think you're right. Like, it's that ideal of what, like, I remember what the old Shumi's Ferrari was like and how you could hear that, obviously not personally, but on the TV and how it comes across on the TV. I never really considered what that would be like in person on the tracks. And that's something that, with you just saying that now, Diggers, is like, oh shit, like being there for, like, say you're at Austria for 72 laps and you're just constantly hearing that the entire time. It would drain real fucking quick. But you
TV, don't go to a lot of races, so would you prefer the sound just in general?
Absolutely. I would love for that. 100%. It's not realistic. Okay. It won't happen. He's just playing up to his presidency.
Ev?
Yeah, so background information. The teams got together to discuss this because they were like, we could bring forward the regulations by a couple of years if we just go to V8s because that's cheaper.
Supposedly.
Okay.
It was something like 3/4 of the teams, including Mercedes, who's the biggest engine supplier, they were like, no, we don't want this because our customers don't want V8 cars.
Mm.
And now, 6 weeks later, MBS has been like, let's bring back, why don't we do V8? It's like, no, bitch, they did this. Like, you're not invited to the conversation. They very much made a commercial decision to say that, no, V8's unaspirated is not the point. Now, Digby has, I haven't. I've been to the old races when there were V10s.
That would have been amazing.
And it was, you can't hear. You're incapable of appreciating what that sounds like. Yeah. At the time, they were doing V8s as the warm-up race. And I've never seen the V8 race
this weekend as well. Or
yeah,
the V10s, whatever it was.
And the V8s are insanely cool. But if I had to listen to that for 70 fucking races, I would just leave. I wouldn't stick around.
70 laps.
70 laps.
And a track like Silverstone, it's probably slightly more bearable because
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But geez, something like Austria, you can't escape it. And I didn't realize how loud it was because we had the hybrids going around, and I'd never been to the F1, and I was like, it's not that bad. What's everyone wearing earmuffs for? Then they did the classic race, and all the cars came back, and I was like, holy fuck. It's like, I'm talking, but there's no sound. I can't hear the sound.
Digby was fully erect.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up there, boys. Thank you very much. It's been a great race to chat about this weekend.
Thanks for hosting.
We got through the Inters, we got through the water patches, we got through Cobbs, or Cox, or Cops, Maggots and Beggots.
Cox.
We managed to drive the worst piece of shit ever and still get P7.
Oh, yeah.
Nico got his podium. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you, I think, in 2 weeks' time.
We having a break for a week?
Well, there's nothing on
Can we have
week.
A break for a week?
I don't know. There's nothing on next week, but the Spa race is in 2 weeks. So we'll probably reconvene for the preview of the Spa Grand Prix, if not before then. See you all very soon. Ollie will be back to replace my nonchalant hosting, whatever that was. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Taylor.
I make you horny?
Bye.